Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. Make sure you're listening anywhere you get podcasts. And you can also follow me on socials at MLUpod. You can also donate to the show for as little as $1 a month. The link is in the description and over at peteraradio.com. And also at peteraradio.com, I interview with DJ Sabrina, the teenage DJ. Got to talk to her over email. It was a great conversation, so if you haven't checked it out yet, please do. It's a great read. Today on the show, we're going to talk about a lot more albums I'm looking forward to in 2021. I feel like over the past week or so, there was an overwhelming amount of new albums, new singles announced, and I thought it was only right to do another show about it because, you know, there's only so many hours in a day to talk about music, so I might as well just get it all off my chest in podcast form. All right, the first few artists I'm going to mention are from New York, which gets me very excited for when shows come back. There'll be artists to perform their latest albums here in the tri-state where I live. Pom Pom Squad, they just announced their debut full-length album, Death of a Cheerleader. That's coming to us June 25th, right after they announced their signing to City Slang Records. Now, this album is co-produced by Illuminati Hottie's own Sarah Tudzin. And the teaser tunes to this track are absolutely fantastic. Lux and Head Cheerleader, very, very catchy tunes. And a far cry from Ow, the last Pom Pom Squad project. And it's good. It's a step in the right direction. Very catchy, loud, crunchy, grunge-like tunes that gets me very, very excited. So looking forward to that debut album from Pom Pom Squad. And I think this group is a bunch of future stars. I think when shows come back, they'll be selling out theaters and other venues around the country. Very excited about Pom Pom Squad. Lorraine, she announced her new album, Fatigue, coming out the same day as Pom Pom Squad's album, and that's coming out June the 25th. Two-Face is the first single. Very excited about it. It's very entertaining, and it's a lot catchier than the stuff from her self-titled debut album way back in 2017, which is great. Lorraine always thinks outside the box, so this tune is no different. And I remember when she opened for Ava Luna at the Music Hall of Williamsburg back in 2018, she had everybody sit down, which was interesting because concerts, generally speaking, especially at GA shows, are not seated. You know, you're standing, you're jumping around, you're dancing. But no, Lorraine had everybody sit down. But it was a very, experimental show, I will say that. But, these days where there's so much music, almost, it's very overwhelming. It's good to stand out in a certain way. But for me, my preference, I don't want to sit down at shows. I'd rather stand up, move around, dance, etc. Be very active. Staying in New York City, we have Nasimiyu, dancer and singer-songwriter, coming off a 7-year hiatus. She announced her brand new album, Potions, coming to us May the 7th. The first single, when I heard it, Watercolors, really hooked me. With its bright melodies, creative vocal arrangements, and minimal, less is more approach, there's not much going on here, but it all works. There's some snaps, some vocal samples, and this brooding bass line. Very, very good stuff here. Looking forward to this brand new Nasimiyu album, Potions. I already pre-ordered it on Bandcamp, so I'm very excited. Place to Bury Strangers. They announced a brand new lineup featuring the leading man, Oliver Ackerman, and John and Sandra Fedowitz of Ceremony East Coast. They announced a brand new EP, Hologram, coming to us July the 16th. And the Place to Bury Strangers, well, Oliver just launched a brand new label, Dead Strange. And the new single to this EP, End of the Night, is awesome. It's messy, it's noisy, classic shoegaze-inspired stuff that you might know of A Place to Bury Strangers. But this tune is reminiscent, to me at least, of their first few albums. The first two projects were very, very noisy and gross and just chaotic. All their stuff are, but their earlier stuff is a lot more so. And I think this is kind of a callback to their earlier stuff, which is really, really cool. What else we have? Namir Blade and L'Orange. They're teaming up for a brand new album, Imaginary Everything, that's coming to us May the 7th. And I'm a big fan of the first single, Corner Store Scandal. Namir said he wrote the song after making an exuberant purchase at a corner store. He's essentially making the mundane seem lavish and luxurious, and I'm all for that because, here in New York City, there's a fair share of corner stores, and I was and still am a frequent patron of these stores, so I love that. And I'm also a fan of the mundaneness, the simple things in life that often go unappreciated. And L'Orange said he's producing the whole album. He's kind of hoping to expand his musical comfort zone by working with Namir, so I'm very excited about this album. Lil Sims from the UK announced a brand new album, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, coming to us September the 3rd. Really dig the first single, Introvert. It's lively, it's expansive, clocks in at over 6 minutes, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It keeps my attention throughout, and that's not easy, especially these days. So, and I'm a big fan of, I've just recently made a playlist called Long Ass Songs, and it's songs that go over 7 minutes. This tune clocks in at 6, but it just shows you can make a long song interesting. You just have to be creative and, find ways to keep the listener's attention for an expansive period of time. And I think Lil Sims does it very, very well, especially because her delivery is very sharp. They're like daggers. They just keep you awake and attentive. So I'm very, very excited about her latest full-length album coming to us sometime in the fall, September 3rd. Bachelor. Very, very excited about this project. This is the tag team of Jay Som and Ellen Kepner of Palehound. They announced a brand new album, Doom and Sun, coming to us just in time for the beaches to open Memorial Day weekend, May the 28th. They both met in a green room way back in 2017. They became friends instantly, and they initially started recording with each other just for fun. But in 2020, January, they rented a house, Cali, and made a whole album. And they have such great chemistry together, especially the first single I heard, Anything at All. Pure chemistry. These two were meant to make music together. Some of their songs kind of remind me of Kim Deal era Pixies, kind of Gigantic and the early Breeder stuff. Not exactly, but it's safe to say they were inspired by that. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting when I'm listening to these Bachelor tunes. So looking forward to these two coming together for a full-length album. Let's head out to Long Island for a bit. My boys, Frank and Blazer, they announced a brand new single, Fair is Fair. And they've been kind of quiet for the last few years or so. Their last release was 2019's Frank and Blazer Motel. And I think this is their best work yet. I go way back with these dudes to the winter of 2015. I saw them play at a bar on Long Island. Where was it? It was in Lindenhurst. Forgot the name of the bar. But we bonded over pro wrestling. I think I was wearing my CM Punk Undertaker shirt, and the lead singer and guitar player Dan, he was wearing a Seth Rollins shirt. I was like, oh, you're a wrestling fan. We just started, talking about wrestling pretty much the whole night. And we've been very close ever since. And their first few, what really attracted me to Frank and Blazer was they didn't have too many recorded songs out at the time, but their live performance was unbelievable. They are so energetic, so charismatic. They're funny dudes, and they do draw a pretty decent sized crowds. And they've been playing the DIY Long Island bar scene for a little while, and They've really grown and evolved. They have raw talent, and their first few recordings were very lo-fi. It seems like they were just, it was meant to like just for them, and not really to share with other people, if that makes any sense. But this time around, they for the past year or so, they've been in the studio. They've been working hard, and they had a few, some lineup changes, and I think now this recent single is the beginning of Franken Blazer. These tunes are like stuff that you can share with people. You know what I mean? Not to say their music before wasn't good. I like their earlier stuff, but this is an evolution for Franken Blazer, and this tune, Fair is Fair, really brings that summer festival. Everyone just hanging out. It's very communal, and this is kind of a song you can sing along to. It's very bar friendly, similar to some of Ty Siegel's music. So I'm really looking forward to what Franken Blazer has planned for 2021. Smol Data, and the lead singer Kara Goldstein has been on the show many times, and I've been a fan of Kara's work for years, since 2016 when I first saw her perform in a garage out in Long Island. I was like, this girl's got something. Her songs they're not pretentious. They're just, they're very catchy. They don't try too hard. Some artists in the DIY indie world kind of try too hard. It's almost like they want to remain DIY, but they really want to be famous. But Kara's like, she wants her music to be good. She really works hard. She really worked hard at the Smol Data project, and she's just going up from here. She finally announced the release date of her debut album, Inconvenience Store. That's coming to us May the 14th. And this is a culmination of years of hard work, and it's no surprise to me that the first single off the album, Emotional Labor Day, caught the attention of NPR, Stereo Gum, and Consequence. And this tune is a critique of the problematic people that she's dealt with on the DIY scene. And I've hung out with Kara many times, and even on this show, My Little Underground, she's critiqued some people in the DIY scene, which is great, and I love her for that. And I'm so glad that Inconvenience Store, it will be getting vinyl and cassettes. Very, very excited for that. Look out for Smol Data. I said earlier today that Pom Pom Squad are future stars. Smol Data are future stars. I see them playing shows together. That's a show that I would love to be at, and it will bring a lot of people. Trust me. Moving on to the Black Keys, they announced a brand new tribute EP, Delta Cream. That's coming to us the same day as Smol Data's album, May the 14th. 11 tunes covering Mississippi blues legends that they grew up listening to. There's some Junior Kimbrough in here, R.L. Burnside, and John Lee Hooker. The first single, Crawling King Snake, is a cover of John Lee Hooker's version of a spiritual that he put out way back in 1949. Now, before this project comes out, all of you need to do your Googles or your record digging for 2006's Chulahoma, and this is the Black Keys covering Junior Kimbrough songs. It is absolutely fantastic. It's so good that the closing track on Chulahoma is a voice message of Junior Kimbrough's widow, telling them how great they are and how they did Junior Kimbrough justice. And if you listen to the first two Black Keys album, there's not a shortage of Junior Kimbrough and R.L. Burnside tunes. So this is one thing that I love about the Black Keys. They always pay homage to, because they have a lot of influence of the black bluesmen that came before them, and they pay homage. Unlike some artists in the mainstream, they take black culture and they don't pay homage, and then they turn around and disrespect it after they've made the money off it. But the Black Keys aren't that. And I've said on the show before that the Black Keys, they had this show planned for Jones Beach Theater with Yola and Gary Clark Jr., two incredible black artists. And it's too bad that that show got canceled due to COVID. So hopefully when it's safe to have shows again, we'll see that tour again. And I will be there front and center. I don't care how much I have to pay. I will definitely be there. Westside Gunn recently announced Sincerely Adolf, the finale to his Hit the Wares Hermes mixtape series. And these series of projects are home to some of my favorite tunes of not only Westside Gunn's catalog, but the Griselda catalog as a whole. I'm talking about WrestleMania 20, Undertaker vs. Goldberg, Hall & Nash, and Lucha Brothers. And this upcoming project features two phenomenal singles, Julia Lang and TV Boy. Now, Julia Lang is 1 minute long. You know, I was saying before that long songs are great, you know, because they challenge us to... the artist is challenged in keeping the listener's attention for long periods of time. But Westside Gunn does the opposite. He has a short song, and it kind of leaves you wanting more. And there's a production technique that I love that I've seen in certain hip-hop songs, that the song fades out while a verse is going on. So it's like, oh my God, I want more. I heard the same technique done on Wu-Tang's Cash Your Rules, Scary Hours, where while Ghostface is rhyming, the song just fades out. It's like, oh my God, I want to hear more. Good stuff here. No release date on this final Hitler Wears Hermes tape yet, but I'm eagerly awaiting it. Holiday Ghosts recently announced their third album, Nord Street Air, that's coming to us May the 21st. And I've been a big fan of their brand of noisy, crunchy garage rock since their 2017 self-titled debut album. And one of the teaser tunes off this project, Mr. Harandi, takes a stab at class and equity, specifically talking about housing. Now, according to the band, everything in the song is true, and their landlord is actually named Mr. Hernandi. It's very interesting to do that. But the tune is great. It's very, very catchy. It's very crunchy. It's very lo-fi. Looking forward to this project from Holiday Ghosts. Lastly, Miss St. Vincent, Annie Clark. I've been a fan of her for over 7 years at this point. Her brand new album, Daddy's Home, is coming to us May the 14th. And she's once again teaming up with Jeff Antonoff on production duties. And this time, she's taking inspiration from 70s soul and pop tunes and just New York City as a whole during that time period. She put out 2 teaser tunes for this, Pay Your Way in Pain and The Melting of the Sun. Now, I have to say, I do not know what to expect from this new St. Vincent album, but that's a good thing, because for the last 7 years or so, she's been making a different album, even going on before that, you know, since Actor, and it's very different, which is good. But I will say that, you know, as much as I loved Mass Seduction, her last album, it wasn't as weird as some of her earlier work is, if that makes any sense. And if you're a fan of St. Vincent, you probably know what I'm talking about. Like, my favorite album of hers is the 2014 self-titled album, because it was so weird. It was so strange. It was very awkward, but it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was still, you know, rinsed with pop melodies, which is what makes her stuff great. But it also, you know, it's balanced with strange and esotericness and just weird production styles and weird vocalizations that her, well, especially the 2014 album had, that I loved. I feel like she's sort of losing that edge, getting a little too cozy with the mainstream. I hope that's not the case. I hope, I'm looking forward to this album, but I just hope that St. Vincent keeps the edge with her. You know, she's getting a lot more mainstream attention now, playing SNL, which is great. It's fine. I'm glad that, you know, people in the mainstream get to know somebody as great as St. Vincent, but I just hope she doesn't lose her edge. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Again, I tweeted this out. I think it's overwhelming how much great music is out now and is about to come out. And so far this year and every year, I am pleased with the amount of great music that's coming out. And some just come by surprise. Like, Brockhampton just announced a brand new album out of nowhere, and it's fucking great. One of my favorite albums of the year so far. So I just listed a lot of stuff that I know is coming out, but I'm really excited about the stuff that's going to come out spontaneously, which is even great. Thank you for listening once again. This is My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. Make sure you check out my written interview with DJ Sabrina, the Teenage DJ. That's on peteraradio.com. And if you want to, you can donate to the show for as little as $1 a month. And you can follow me on socials at MLUpod. And don't forget to listen to My Little Underground wherever you get podcasts. All right? Later days.